So today I am going to try to do an update of how my orchids are doing after they've been moved in. It's been, well, previously the last 2 weeks pretty cold, been getting down into the 30s at night, and then in the weirdness that is global warming, it's now back in the 70s and 80s, and you can hear my new fans on. It's pretty loud in here, but the temperatures do seem to be staying down. I have my foggers going on my orchids. I have one on the rack to the north of the room, and then I have another one in the rack to the south of the room. And you can see that there's a lot of fog being produced to try to keep the humidity up in here, though of course all the air is currently being drawn out by the huge fans that are going. Some things that I haven't finished doing are these Cattleyas right here. So these are Cattleyas that I bought from Sunset Valley Orchids, and problematically, when I brought them in, they had all grown into each other's pots, as you can see by this tangle of roots. So I'm planning today to detangle these. A few of them may be repotted. Even though it's late, I don't like to repot this late, but unfortunately, a lot of it has to do with just, can I separate these pots from each other? So like they're completely attached right now. I bought one plant at the Eastern Iowa Orchid Show. It was actually from Nats. They were out there vending. This is Catalina Tigrina crossed to Brassavola nodosa. I think it looks a lot like Hippodamia, which is nodosa crossed to Catalina clandiae. They had a few of these, and this was actually labeled as a sample, so I didn't think they were going to sell it, but Ashley saw me looking at it very hopefully, and she just offered to sell it to me. So this one's come home. Not all the ones that they had this beautiful spotting pattern on them, so I'm glad that Ashley was willing to sell me this one. I've got a lot of orchids that are in spike. Some of the spikes have broken. You can see, look, this one broke during transit from being brought in, but there's still lots of spikes on these Oncidium twinkle-like hybrids. There'll be, I think, a while before they start blooming, but I've organized all those Oncidiums right here so I can see them. I have a bin that's not completely full yet, and that's because I still have things like King Annums and stuff that have not come in. Well, they're in because it got really cold and I was afraid they might freeze, and so they're downstairs in my unheated sunroom. I didn't send all my Richard Mueller crosses to the Eastern Iowa Show. I just sent, I think, 3 that were open, and I didn't send this golden peacock because a golden peacock can have a lot more flowers than this. And this is my Thai Rose by Richard Mueller, and it just wasn't open yet. So actually it was a nice surprise when I walked in this morning and I could see that this was open. I've put these grids on front of the orchids on my bottom shelves in hopes of trying to keep Pinto from eating everything. I have also domed up the seedlings that are on the floor down here, also as a Pinto chewing preventative. My growing isn't static, and each year when I bring my orchids in and I take my orchids out, I change how I grow them a little bit, trying to improve how I grow. This year, one of the things I did is I'm trying to do supplemental lighting during the day on this shelf that's against the wall right here. for the Cattleyas to give them some more light and see if that helps them grow a little better. And so you can see that I have just put some, these are just LED strip lights in the 5000K color range. They're supplemental. There's still sun coming in, and so we'll just see if this keeps them a little healthier as they're growing. While I was in Iowa, the Dean's Gold also bloomed. I am not sure that I want to keep this. It's I don't know, it's kind of cupped and recurved. A little bit too much for me. I'd really like a much flatter flower, and I don't really, it's not doing anything for me if it doesn't have those qualities in it. I have lots and lots of yellow with Richard Mueller, so probably I'll sell this when the spring show comes around. My Kingiana and Cuthbertsonii hybrids, and my very sad Masvidalias from my sister are in my sunroom, which is currently over 70 degrees since it's like 78 outside. They came inside mostly not because it was too cold, but because it was really windy and they kept blowing over and I kept finding stuff all over the ground. And so I just brought them in. It's really hard to get back far enough to see the massive plants. I need to get them in something where I can water them because they're all really dry right now. But they'll stay here until it gets cold, too cold to stay in here. But this is my plan to keep them a little cooler. The orchids from Cattleyas that I'm babysitting are now in this fish tank. So this is my old terrarium. It's now on its side, and it's doing okay in terms of humidity, and of course it's 75 right now because it's, like I said, 78 outside. But it's in a tray. All the plants are in a tray, so I can just take it out and water them and then put them back in, and then the tank will help keep the humidity up. And it's not that bright in here, as you can see. It's shaded, so I've put a light here on top of the glass to, well, help it along. So we'll see if this is enough light for these guys. I have taken to calling my greenhouse cabinet the hot box because it runs about 85 degrees in here, and I do have a lot of things that are in bloom in here, though I have to protect them from Pinto. My Oberonia cavalieri is in bloom. I can't really do the flowers because they're tiny, really small and hard to see. It's not fully open yet, but it's been opening for weeks. It's been in spike since like July. And oh, now see dangerous. Who's here? It's Pinto. I have all my jewels in here. My Macotes is spiking, and I have to have one hand on Pinto to keep him from reaching in there and treating this like his little, like, personal snack box. I have a few of the Cattleyas orchideas orchids in here because they needed to be warmer, and they were not very happy. So you can see that they may not make it. And what else do I have in bloom? I got this is a Peacock. All right, this is very difficult to do this while holding on to Pinto. He's really trying to get in here. And it's blooming. Look at that. That's from Jan.L. I got that at the Milwaukee show, and I have the Selaginine fibriata that's in bloom. Also from Jan.L. Orchids. And I see what else is in here. Oh, two of the Epiporp. Ow! That's Pinto biting me because I won't let him inside here to eat my orchids. Porpaxes were in bud, and I don't know if those buds made no. Look, see, so the buds died. They were in bloom. Those were the ones from Cattleyas. I have a Porpax in here in the back, which is doing pretty well. And I know I have some more stuff. Oh, and then this is from Cattleyas. It's a Scathophlatus, and it came in bud, and it seems to be quite, well, not in bud, but in bloom, and it seems to be very happy inside this cabinet. So that's the main part of the hot box. And then I have my vanilla on the side here. Let me see if I can get that closed. And I have a few more bits after I drilled those holes, which is really helping keep the humidity up in here. I'm trying my Dendrobium moniliforme in here because I think my regular growing area is too cold. You can see it's lost all its leaves. It's very sad. So that is my greenhouse cabinet. A few orchids that want to be warmer, or I'm trying to have them warmer, in the empty room that is my son's bedroom. He's off at college. He's not here. All my Asian cymbidiums have moved here. I'm trying to keep them up above the Pinto chew line. And here's my Encyclia radiata, which usually I like to send to the Eastern Iowa Orchid Show, but it's not open yet. So it didn't go this year. And then I have some standard Cattleyas in the window. That empty spot is where my Aldolf Hecker was sitting, but it's at the show right now.